I have the Agency Pro theme installed and set up exactly like the demo. Now it does look slightly different because there's different images added. This is my own test website that I use, and I thought it would be really cool to show you how this theme can look by adding your own images and content and then making style changes with Design Palette Pro. I'm only going to go over a few areas in this theme. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the general body as well as the custom navigation menu and the homepage widget areas. I hope this will give you a head start to easily customizing some of the styles that are available in this theme. The first edit we're going to go through is fairly simple. You'll notice when you reload or refresh the page that you get that flash of the background color. With this theme, you do have an option to use a background image, but if no background image is selected, then you're going to see this color. And you can change it in Design Palette Pro under General Body, Colors, and Background. So it's going to be the very first color setting at the top. And once you hit Save Settings, you now have a new background color. The settings in this area, they define the general styles for things like colors, links, and fonts. So they apply throughout the website. However, there are certain areas in the theme that have more specific settings applied to them. So those are going to take priority over the changes made to these settings. So for example, if I wanted to change the text color, you can see that it's not applying to certain areas on this page. Individual styles can be fine-tuned where the style is located in the theme, and you can find these areas in one of the options on the left-hand side. So for example, if I want to see some changes in this section, I would need to go into the home page. This theme uses two navigation menus. It has a custom menu in the header right, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the website, the secondary navigation sits above these footer credits. Now I'm just going to go over styling the custom menu, but the information and the settings that we're going to go over can also apply to styling the secondary navigation as well. Since the custom menu lives in the header right widget area, you're going to find the settings under header area, whereas the secondary navigation is going to be under this navigation menu. In the header area, if you scroll down, you're going to come to header navigation display. And in this section, you can change the individual menu items. So you can adjust the background color for base and hover, as well as the menu link color. So I'm going to change those really quick. Now I'm choosing the same color for both the base and hover, just to be quick and easy, but you can choose two different colors. As you can see, this has applied the color to my menu links, but it's also applied the color to the link for the active item. Now the active item highlights the current page that your user's on. So a lot of people like this to look different, and you can do that under the active item color settings. You can see the same options are available, except they're only going to apply to that one menu item. So if we want to change the color for the link, we can do that. On hover, it also has a border applied, as well as a border to the active item. You can individually change these colors. So for the border hover, it'll be the very first setting under standard item. And of course, the active item border is going to be under the active item settings. Now these two can be changed individually, but if you adjust the border style or the border width, it's going to apply to all menu items. You have lots of border options available, but if you set it to none, it's going to remove the border completely. So we're going to keep it on solid and increase that so you can see. We have our font styles. Now you'll notice from my drop-down, I have quite a few font options available. And this is because I'm using our Google Web Fonts extension. If you're interested in having all these font options available from the drop-down, I highly recommend that you hop over to our website and grab this extension. Font weight comes with a tooltip that certain fonts will not display every weight, so this is dependent on which font that you choose. They may or may not have all these font weights available. If you make a change and it doesn't apply to the font, that just means that that particular font doesn't have the weight available. The menu padding is going to apply to the space around the menu link. You can adjust top and bottom to create a little bit of height, and left and right for some width. Now I'm making these a whole lot bigger than they need to be, but I just want you to be able to see them. If you have submenus, you can edit the styles under the drop-down, so you have the very same settings available as the regular menu items. So you have your font styles, your item colors, your active items, as well as your padding. When two styles live in a section, it's really common when you adjust the padding for it to affect the other style. So here in the header area, we have our site title as well as our custom menu. And since we adjusted the padding for this custom menu, it's created this space underneath the site title. So you're going to need to change that as well to line that back up. So we'll scroll all the way up. Now I'm going to change this hover color really quick. And this one's pretty easy. You just need to adjust the padding top, and that will realign the site title back up with the menu items. There are 3 custom widget areas that are used on the home page. Now it's really important that each of these are using the same widgets that are used in the themes demo. So for example, the home top uses a text widget. So under the home top section, the settings that are available are to style a text widget only. So let's quickly go over some of the styles that are available in each of these widget areas. For the home top, we have our padding, and that's going to apply to the space around the text widget. So adjusting these slider settings is going to increase or decrease that space. For the widget title and the widget content, the settings that are available are to adjust the font styles. You can change the color as well as the font stack, and I'm going to increase this font size. Now one thing I wanted to mention, when you're adjusting a font size this large, as well as making large padding or margin changes, you may want to go over on the right hand side and see how those styles are applying on smaller screen sizes. So we have the tablet as well as the mobile, and you can see my font size doesn't look very good on this. Now there's not settings to adjust the responsive styles as well as the desktop, so sometimes you need to make a decision on a style that's going to look good on all different screen sizes. So for this, I would probably decrease the font until it looked good on all 3. The widget title has a bottom margin, so this will move the content farther or closer to the widget title. We have our H3 content. Now in the themes demo, this sentence right here is wrapped in an H3 tag. So you have an option to add this to the text widget and then adjust the color and font styles for this. For the widget content, you have the color and font styles as well. The home top button is this HTML button, and the code for this you can find in the theme setup documentation. You have the option to adjust the background color as well as the link color. So each option has a base and hover. You can adjust the font styles and the border radius. This is going to make the button more round, or backing it off is going to make it more square. The padding again applies to the space around this link. So you can increase or decrease these settings to make the button larger or smaller. The home middle section has area padding and margin for top and bottom. So this is going to apply above and below the widget content. So for example, if you wanted to decrease the space between the home middle and the home bottom, you could adjust the margin bottom as well as the padding bottom. The widget title sits above this featured content. Again, you have options for color and font styles. You will find when you adjust this font size, you start to see a misalignment with this featured content. This also happens when you adjust the padding bottom. Probably the most important setting when you're adjusting this widget title is the margin top. It has a negative value, and all you have to do is adjust this one setting and it will realign that back up. The title border, so there's a border before and after this widget title. You can change the color, the border style. Border width is going to create a thicker or thinner line. And border length is going to increase it in length or decrease it and make it shorter. Now, depending on the font size and the length of this widget title, going too far with this setting can drop it onto 2 lines. All you need to do is back off this setting and it'll come back onto 1 line and it'll be all fixed. The home middle uses the Genesis featured post. So it's using a featured image, and on hover, you're seeing the post content. So we have options under the post entry title to adjust the color and font styles for the entry title. For the widget content, on hover, you're seeing this black color with a transparency. If you adjust this color, it's going to apply it, but also keep the transparency, which I think is nice. You have your text color, as well as the color for the more link. So I'll quickly change that to show you. You have your font styles and your padding. So again, the padding is going to apply to the space around this post content within this area. The home bottom section is very similar to the home middle. It's also using the Genesis featured post, except it doesn't have a featured image. On hover is simply a color change. The first 2 settings under the home bottom section are to adjust the background color for both base and hover. The area padding and margin, as well as the widget title and title border, are exactly the same as the home middle. For the post entry title, so again, there's an option to adjust the colors on hover. So the first 2 settings under the post entry title are the base color and hover color. But adjusting the font styles is going to apply to both the base and hover. So it's only the color that changes. You have your post meta, so you can adjust the color for the date as well as the font styles. The widget content's the same. So on base, you have a black color, and on hover, you're seeing the white. It also has an option to change the more link. So we'll adjust the color for that. And the same thing as the post entry title. If you adjust the font style, it's going to apply to both base and hover. So again, it's only the color that's changing on hover. And we also have padding for this post content. So again, it's going to apply to the space around this post content. You may have some questions about using Design Palette Pro, and I encourage you to reach out and let us know. We make it really easy for you. Under the support menu, when you activate your license key, it enables this help widget where you can send us your questions directly in Design Palette Pro.